Okay, hi you all. So on my channel, I'm going to be doing video essays because that just works out better for me. I don't like shooting video in my car I don't like shooting it around my house, and I really don't like having to get dressed, makeup and all of that. I do that for work because they pay me. They don't pay me to do that on here. Okay. Now, when they start paying, I might start thinking about it. But up until now, for right now, it's not paid. So I don't want to do no extra labor. So I'm going to stay in my bathrobe and, chill and make these video essays. And that's what we're doing. So on my channel, this is where I'm going. So I'm letting y'all know now. So if you want to unfollow or if you feel the need to, whatever, move about the cabin, please do so. So anyway, I will be making my channel about liberating the minds of women from this mindset that there is a such thing as hyper independence. That women who are independent or somehow hyper independent are somehow doing themselves a disfavor by being hyper independent. And I'm just like, how is taking care of yourself and funding your own lifestyle bad for you? How is that bad? Like, we are letting people convince us that this is bad for us. Okay. And there are people who are dead set against, or rather, they are out to see you fall. They want to chop you off at the knees. They want you to lose any kind of job opportunities, educational opportunities, leadership opportunities. They want you to not have that. So you can be forever at their mercy. And then they can decide, okay, this group of women will get this, that group of women will get this. You don't fall in, you're not pretty enough for that. You're not skinny enough for this. You're not light enough, dark enough, long hair, whatever. They can group you off and then distribute uh distribute sustenance accordingly, according to how they feel who and when you should get it. Okay. And if that's the way you want to live, then you need to go ahead and unfollow. Okay. Because this channel, if you're married and you want to stay married, go ahead and unfollow. I'm not here to talk to you unless you want to hear some obtuse views to marriage. And I'm not necessarily against marriage. I just don't, it I just, to me, it's not strategically aligned with where I am at in life, right? Because I was married once, blah blah blah, and it's just not a strategic alignment. And I'm going to talk about that and why it's not a strategic alignment for me, and why I bemoan hearing women like vying for marriage. Oh, I want to get married. Oh, um, it's just something about that that's just like, ugh. Like, I mean, I get it. We're adults and we have needs and things like that. But apparently, like if you're in that mind, and it's the young girls. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't trying to hear us older women. Y'all not trying to hear us. Y'all want to go in and find out and then come out and you'll have the same story and we'll just keep turning out the same thing for those who are hard-headed and they don't want to listen because there is something else guiding them. You can go ahead and unfollow too, cause girl, I'm only gonna make you mad. But for those who want to be liberated and inspired to live their best life and to go out and pursue that, through education, through licensing and knowledge, through whatever, whatever legal means, you know, then stay here. And that's what we're going to be doing over here. I'm also going to be talking about journaling for therapy. I'm also going to be, doing creative things. I right now, like I've been on my lemonade. I'm putting my gym journey on there, and so you'll get to see more of that. I have, a personal trainer, and so I'm going through that commotion right there, trying to get my weight down, and as well as get my mind in order. And it's true. These things are spiritual processes. Like, not trying to, but actually doing it, actually losing weight, actually, educating myself, seeking further education, actually wanting, having a business and growing, my business. All of these are spiritual things that are growing me spiritually. Um, the blockages that come with these things, I have to tell you, they are deep rooted in some of the things that we are taught are just normal. For instance, a woman having a leadership position in her household, or in terms of controlling her finances, in terms of things like this, where you live at, what kind of diet you want to eat, these kind of things. We're kind of taught subtly or overtly that this is not appropriate. And if you buy into that, when you start to ascend in your, your business, or in your education and things like that, you will still kowtow. What they say, like, you will still kowtow and, like, push, like, crunch yourself down and try to make yourself small, or try to downplay your accomplishments, which allows other people to then come in and also, downplay your accomplishments and try to diminish you. And you will kind of feel guilty for having those things. And by way of that, you'll probably lose it, inadvertently, or you will sabotage yourself. I do think that it is a form of self sabotage. So it's like, if you're not watching those little seeds that are being planted in your head, you will self sabotage. And unfortunately, when you do, the sharks are waiting down below. The sharks are waiting. Okay. And I don't want any woman to get in her head that somehow, if you are a woman of less means, then you have to put yourself in a position where somebody else is taking care of you. Therefore, you have to be subservient to this person. I don't agree with that. And I don't ever want to put myself or tell somebody to knowingly and willingly put themselves in that kind of position. Okay, and I know, speaking out against this, a lot of people, including women, not just men, are going to feel some kind of way. And I've had to step back and really question, like, is this really is this really what I feel passionate about? And it is, because it's the very thing that I tell my daughters, and the very thing that I present, that I represent, is a woman pulling herself out of that muck and mire, so that I could live a more expansive life. My life was pinched off and closed off, and it was like, you're going to stay right here, you're going to do this, you're going to live this pinched off life, so that you can make other people happy. so that you can please, or you can look the part of this so-called, highly virtuous, submissive, docile woman that I never was. I never was docile. And I sure ain't submissive. Okay? Because to me, it depends. Like that submissive thing, it's like it's shades and colors to that very word. So the very word itself has shades and colors to it, because it's one thing you say, submissive. Well, someone submits themselves when they see that there is someone who is of higher caliber or worthiness, or has proven themselves to be um someone who is of higher quality. So I don't view a person's anatomy as necessarily making them higher quality. So we can go ahead and move along. We will move along. I will expand on that as I continue to make video essays. Um, yeah, but it's these kind of things that I've realized was running in the background of everything I was like wanting to do, thinking about doing, or trying to accomplish. And it wasn't until I kind of threw that off and I just had like a relationship between me and God that I realized, like, okay, you're okay. You don't need to worry about pleasing other human beings, right? In order to, you don't, in other words, I didn't have to worry about pleasing other human beings, man or woman, right? And pleasing other human beings at the displeasure of myself so that I can so called go to paradise, right? So we'll talk about all of that. We will definitely talk about all that. Another thing is, as a woman, your intuition tells you things. And I know some of y'all are out of touch, so you're not going to understand what I'm saying. But there was plenty of times, and I noted it. I started actually making note of every time I felt like, you know what, I don't feel like this is a good idea. I don't feel like this is right. I don't feel like, whatever. I want to do this. Whatever that was, in the end, when I did what other people wanted me to do instead of what I wanted to do, or what my intuition was telling me to do, it always it always turned out bad, or I got played, right? Because I should have did what my intuition was telling me to do, but instead I was trying to be this submissive woman. But anyway, I'm not going to make this video too long, but this is where my channel was going. So if you're not down with that, please go ahead and exit left. Thank you. Don't hit your head on the exit sign on the way out.